Hey everybody, and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program RP-0. This is our Twitch recap from last Sunday's live stream where we were rejoining our crew at Harmonia Station, all 6 of them safely tucked away within the confines of the station where there is plenty of life support and electric charge. And this is the Little Odysseus. This is, you may remember, the ascent stage from our second Mars mission many years ago. This was the first time when we actually had some incidents at Mars to deal with, and well, the ascent stage proved so well that we kept it around and did a crewed mission to Phobos with it, with our second Mars crew, also many years ago. And it is time to kind of complete the trio and take this little guy on out to Deimos. But we've realized that we're about 5 hours away from when we can safely make a transfer burn to intercept Phobos, and wanting to preserve as much fuel and life support as we can, we're going to go ahead and kind of abort the maneuver and redock with Harmonia Station right here from whence we came. It's just nice to have been able to plot the node. I guess I should have done that before I started the live stream, but of course I was at a lack for time. Docking about as smooth as you could expect here on this channel, but we did manage to get a hard dock, and then we will just time warp around. We've got a couple of orbits to get rid of. Of course, it killed the node for us, but figuring it at about an hour per orbit or so, we'll just go ahead and cut 5 orbits or 4.5 orbits before topping off our food, water, and oxygen. We've already drained most of the waste product, carbon dioxide, waste, and wastewater. Not really enough left on board to be worthy of ditching, so we're just gonna go ahead and go, which of course means replotting our node. And yeah, it's a little off, so we'll just shift it around this orbit a little bit until we get an encounter an absolutely tiny sphere of influence that we're trying to hit. So we do need to be as exacting with it as we can. It's about 1.07 kilometers per second to make the transfer out to Deimos altitude so that we can get rendezvous, and it will be about another 700 or so meters per second to achieve orbit. This vehicle has in total about 5 kilometers per second of delta V on hand, because that's about what was required to make the ascent from the surface of Mars, and then perform rendezvous and docking with Harmonia Station. So we should have well more than enough delta V on hand. We do have pilot Lewis Carr on hand. He was not the pilot responsible for our interesting landing on Mars last time. That would be, of course, seasoned veteran Yegor, who spent a year around the moon many moons ago, very early on in the program, postponing his retirement to complete that mission. But we'll probably have to have a conversation with him when he comes home. Lewis Carr was the first one to take a chestnut around the moon and perform a successful Aero braking and capture at Earth. He's really the only qualified pilot for Chestnut that we have. And we figure we should probably give him some kudos and maybe let him get his hands dirty with the soil from another distant rock in our solar system. So the transfer out to Deimos is now officially successful after a little touch up on RCS. We do in fact have an encounter. We're just trying to touch that up a little bit to make sure we can make that an actual solid encounter. Yeah, look at that. It's barely a thing, but with a few quick taps on the RCS, we can actually go ahead and bring this in. Our total Deimos periapsis is a little under 2 kilometers, which is pretty nice, and then we'll have lots of trouble trying to plot a node that actually gets us in orbit. You see the difference between capture and ejection speed going the opposite direction is about 3 meters per second. So very gently, we will tap this up. 710.9 meters per second will result in a capture around Deimos. So we're going to pump tanks from our lateral sides here into our center line tanks to maintain balance and make sure that we have enough Delta V on tap to make this capture a thing. We actually probably should have limited to that as such so that we'd have enough fuel to come home. Things that I only think about when in retrospect. Anyway, for some reason, poor Olympus here has taken the name of Harmonia Station, so we're just going to go ahead and rename that. And all spelling errors aside, we do need to kind of plot out how long we are going to be in this SOI so that maybe we can start accounting for our burn times appropriately. Thank goodness we have quite a lot of Delta V and TWR. So anyway, for insertion burn, here is old me. Okay, note in 1 minute. Okay, let's write it into about the 35-second mark. Oh, we're already here. Ullage. Let's get a nice view coming in. There it is. Coming up pretty quickly. Ignition. Yeah, I mean, while we're here, we should be transmitting that home. Crew report. I don't know how much of these things are queuing or keeping. So we're just going to start keeping things for now. Log imaging, keep. Set, we don't need that one. Seismic we can do on the surface. Pressure already done. Is that a capture? I find that very hard to believe. No. Light them back up. That's just the camera being extraordinarily weird. Because, wow. I should have been paying attention to biomes. Wow. Oh, really? We're not captured yet. Oh, alright. Well, now we're landing, so... eccentricity. Yeah, I'll say that was not time warp. That was real time. But, you know, now we're gonna go ahead and make our first landing here, probably at the Highlands. I think we've gotten... Alright, RCS disarmed. Using so much fuel. Let's go ahead and top off our tanks. So we'll just speed through a little bit of the resource transfer. I know how thrilling it can be in real time, but in sped up footage, it just looks so much better. I should have just left it alone, although for sake of balance, I do want things a little more along the center line. Again, one of these things that I just am thinking about now watching it in post. I'm like, oh, that would have been a good way to make sure we have enough to get home. But now that we are officially in Deimos SOI, we will start to radio in some of our sciencey things. We did have a probe out here before. That was the Intrepid Proby McProbeface. Made orbit capture and did a couple of landings here on Deimos before a harpoon incident ejected it from the SOI. But we did also get lots of very good science from there, but we did have to kind of be sparing with what we got then. Now we don't have to. We can collect all the science, we can radio a copy in, and collect an extra copy to bring back with us to the laboratory for extra processing and, of course, all that free science. So we'll just send our local scientist out here to collect as much data as she can before retreating back into the safety of the cabin and getting her seatbelt buckled and her Polaroid camera ready for our first approach at landing, which will, well, I'll leave that up to old me. We're going to use so much fuel. Oh, no, who hit the Z key? Who hit the... Why won't my engine shut down? I am tapping X. What the hell? Okay, that was... Well, alright then. Why are my throttle controls being so slow to respond? And where did this indicator come from? What buttons did I have to hit? What is going on here? Input lock, I guess? We shouldn't be input locked. We have local control. So, somebody who knows more about this game than I do, which might be all of you, please tell me what the hell is happening. Turn it off. It's better to slap a dun hydrazine on thruster on it. Those red letters were part of atmospheric autopilot. Yeah, no, we're not... We don't have to load the last quick save. But I do think we need to turn around and light the engine again. But atmospheric autopilot should absolutely not be active. Or was it? Did I hit shift and some keys that I shouldn't have? It's enabled somehow. Okay, well, it should be off now, right? Yep, it is off now. I have my Z and X controls back. Eight meters per second is still escape velocity here. Oh, Jesus. There we go. 1 meter per second. Must have hit P at some point. That's the hotkey. Huh. Maybe I did. Well, alright then. Tragedy averted. We're still plenty good on fuel. We're just gonna go ahead and make this landing. I mean, eventually. Anyway, with a little tap from the engines, we will start descending at about 2 meters per second. A couple of taps on the thrusters will bring that speed up to 6.6 or 6 point something meters per second. And here at about the 1 kilometer mark, we'll get ourselves spun around so that the bottom of the spacecraft is actually facing down, and then start to use a little quick taps on the RCS to start to slow that descent just a little bit. I mean, we're well within our impact tolerance for most things, but still, I think it would be better to keep that touchdown rate of descent to below 0.03 meters per second. Ideally, even less than that, but I think that should be our top end. So as we're down below the 200 meter mark, we'll start to use a little bit more thruster fuel just to make sure that we don't go careening into the surface and stranding 2 Kerbals here on this distant, very haunted potato. and ease it on in for our very, very first crewed touchdown on Mars's second moon of Deimos. A very historic event. Pretty proud of that one. So anyway, for old me, go. Hey, look, it's a hill. Didn't see that one coming. Please don't bounce. Please don't bounce. Okay, I think this qualifies as on the surface, so let's manually click all of the science experiments yet again. Oh, I should be radioing these in. Transmit and bring up this box. Make sure we're actually getting paid for these things. Sweet. Still only 42 science for some of these things. 140 for when we bring that one home, but that's going to take a while. Okay. Record impact. Transmit. Come on, KSP, transmit. Yes, this is in fact the very same playthrough I have on YouTube. Observe mystery goo. We'll keep that. Log magnetometer. Transmit. Alright, and now we'll get our copies to take back to the laboratory. That's orbit only. Log keep. Log keep. Log keep. Log keep. Oh man, this thing. Run Atmo. Can't be done right now. That's weird. We can do it on the moon, but not here. Keep. Alright, and now it's time for our scientists to go EVA. EVA report. Keep that. And then start collecting these things. Are we sliding down this hill? The moon has an atmosphere of pixie dust. Fair. Does Kerbal surface sample even work on Deimos? Gravity is so low that they'd float instead of stand on the surface? I guess we're going to find out. Jared Martin, hey Crash, how's it going? Love watching videos. You're all the way through the RP-0 series. About 305. Oh, nice, man. I'm really glad to hear that. Thank you so much. I'm glad you're enjoying the series, too. Alright. Take and take. Are we still even technically on the surface? I think we have floated away. Yeah, it's take surface sample. Definitely keep that one. Oh boy. Technically she's falling because I don't have control of our Kerbal currently. She's falling uphill, like many button presses, doing nothing. Oh, episode 40. Yeah, no spoilers, everyone. One episode away from the very classic 306. None spoilers, everyone. Alright, we got our surface sample. We still need to get an EVA sample. We need to collect these two samples. We need to reset all of these things. And then maybe go find another biome and plant a flag. Or maybe we should plant a flag in this biome. Alright, and nudge, take. Oh! How did you get ejected towards the ground so quickly? That's unfortunate. Take goo data, restore. A scientist? You're not a scientist? You're totally a scientist. A level 1 scientist. Well, now I feel pretty dumb. I forgot you have to have a rank in something to... Oh. Many apologies, anyone. Okay, so that was dumb. I forgot that we have a non-raked up scientist here. Yes, overwrite the existing report. That's another 280. We'll keep that one. Oh, please don't fall into a solar panel or something dumb. Oh, this haunted potato. I feel like we just experienced the ending of Interstellar. Once again, I have no control over our Kerbal. This is why Phobos and Deimos are considered the cursed potatoes, because this type of extreme cracketing just seems to happen all the time. You're at work right now and watching it on a tablet? Awesome. Man, I've watched so much Twitch and YouTube while at work. I used to. My old job. Unfortunately, I can't do that anymore. It makes me it makes me very sad. It's like a lab tech. Alright, so can we do one more action without getting ejected onto stuff? We're having dumb things happen. Plant flag. Oh, please don't crash right now, KSP. Please don't crash. Murph. Oh, I was like, please tell me I can hit OK. Grab. Grab! What are you doing? This is like a bad horror movie. Lots of just slow drifting and frantic camera change. Alright, take data, store data, board. Let's go, please. Let's find a new biome. We're done here. Similar no control problems with hacked gravity when filming that simulated butt surgery for Nemo. No spoilers. Work at a university library at night, so just put on with headphones and go from there. Oh, nice. Alright, where's that big crater thingy that we wanted to take a look at? That away. Let's go have a look-see. I'm guessing postpone those screwed Deimos landings until 2040s. This is some extreme haunting. This is why I have avoided coming here, is all of the stress of everything that happened to little Proby McProbe face. Made life a little difficult. 1.3 meters per second. That might be enough to carry us there. I don't know if it's actually going to give us... Yeah, this is the most zooming in we can do. That's fun times. Let's take a quick save, make sure we don't lose anything here. I'm starting to think the scientist could have walked the lander next to the testing site. I mean, it wouldn't have taken very much to just throw it there either. Like a soccer ball. 2 hands over the head. Alright. I'm wondering... Oh, something has exploded. Was that our flag? Yeah, it's not showing on the map anymore. One flag self-destructed. It's football, you US dummies. feel like a powered ascent vehicle here would deorbit the moon itself. Quite possible, yes. So I wonder if we get credit for planting a flag if the Kraken explodes it when we time warp away. So we will get angled in here for our first flyover of this crater, which I had just kind of assumed would be its own biome because it looks so absolutely interesting. But as we make our fly past approach here, thanks to time warp, the current biome never changed from highlands, which was super, super interesting. I mean, no, not really. It's super disappointing. But hey, we were greeted with an absolutely phenomenal Mars rise over the edge of Deimos there, which did warrant taking more than just a few pictures. A super nice view of one of the poles of Mars. Not sure which one it is because directions are completely arbitrary when you're in space. Go figure. So we'll buy ourselves a little bit more altitude and bide some time while we checked the Discord for a very helpful map that was posted there as far as biomes are concerned. It turns out most of the equatorial area around Deimos is just highlands. So we need to shift directions if we're going to try to find something not highlands. We have about 3 biomes to explore: highlands, lowlands, and I think major craters. Perhaps it's something craters. There's absolutely craters involved, but that's about all the information I can give you now that it's been almost a week since I've recorded this, so there's, you know, that's a thing. Anyway, after we're done admiring the view here for a little bit, I promise you I will actually go back in and start to shift our orientation so that we can hopefully hit something that's not just Deimos's highlands. Although super disappointed that I am unable to reset the biological experiment. Would have been nice to get a full complement of science, I guess, or multiples of that experiment. So we'll just get ourselves angled north a little bit so that we can try to shift ourselves off of the equator. Of course, that does involve achieving escape velocity of somewhere near 3 some odd meters per second. It's real slow going around these tiny, tiny moons. So at least we got lots of time to kill. There's about 2 weeks of life support on board this craft, so we should have more than enough time to be able to hit all 3 biomes and get ourselves back to Harmonia Station before we, I don't know, run out of air. That was quite a concern with our last mission in this craft to Phobos, because, well, we did hang out there for quite a while. We did find more than a few biomes and spent quite a lot of time in orbit just taking the sights in and enjoying the fact that we were not tipped over sideways. And as you can see ahead of us is the infamous Kraken Spire, the misplaced pixel in a texture map resulting in a straight spike ascending to the heavens to the very top of as high as a terrain can be. It is an absolutely phenomenal, completely natural occurrence, and we have shifted biomes into Deimos's lowlands. So we're going to cancel out our forward velocity just as quickly as we can, because I'm not entirely convinced that we won't change biomes super fast. So we'll get our solar panels angled in. We'll start to take as many biome specific science experiments as we can, and more than a few that really just aren't. We'll reset those, but we do need to get copies of absolutely everything that we can so that we can radio one home and then bring another copy back to the lab. But for the, I don't know, I guess, science gathering actual and the impending EVA, I will turn you over to old me. All right, where are we at? 400 meters and descending, probably into a big old hill. EVA, just a quick test of things, EVA report, space near. No comms, yeah, okay. So, real quick, take, store, board, okay, yeah, dump. So, no. That's pretty much as good as it's going to be for EVA reports while flying. The problem is, how do we not be flying? And what happened to our Kraken Spire? There it is. The Grand Temple of Kraken. I think hopefully before the stream ends, we can go park ourselves over there and set up camp for the night. Oh, there are bugged ion thrusters. That is, man. I wish I had bugged ion thrusters. It'd make life a little easier, eh? Dreams of war, dreams of liars, dreams of Kraken Spire, and all things that will bite. Yes. So did I mention that we're going to sacrifice one of these two to the Kraken at the Spire? Probably shouldn't have said that out loud, but at least not to them. No, we're not going to do that, but I don't know, maybe we brought gifts of shiny things and offerings for the Kraken to help this cursed crew get home. Huh, what was that? What? Nothing at all. Absolutely nothing. Oh, 20 meters. Let's hit the brakes. And not pile into the surface. The smallest Vastmere is supposed to have 4.4 newtons. Oh man, newtons. Now ascending again. Yep. You know, didn't take much. Sorry, everyone, for ascending fairly quickly as well. Hey, there's a touchdown we didn't see coming. Okay then. Hey, what a landing. What a beautiful view. Alright, let's gather some science. Crew report. Keep that. Log magnetometer data. While in space near Deimos. Altitude 2.5 meters. Dang it, we slid up the hill again. Man, we slid way up the hill. Altitude still 2.5 meters. Okay, so are we actually touched down now? Log? There we go. Transmit. Did we get paid for that one? Yeah, it says we did. Log it again. Keep. I'm so mad we can't reset our goo canister. Review. Oh, yeah, that's right. We have to jump out and collect stuff. That was the other thing we were supposed to do. Dang it. Alright. Take. Store. That resets our, That can't be done. We've already left the surface again. Take. That's kind of awesome. Although, this thing is just burning fuel, so we're gonna kill the RCS. Sorry, just a second or two to appreciate that. Now, push this lander back onto the land. so mad we can't reset the goo canisters. Yeah, it helps when you hit F2. Take data, restore. Yeah, you still can't restore things. Take, there we go. Oh, there we go. Take surface sample. Yep, lowlands, good. EVA report from the lowlands, good. Plant the flag. Do it wing 7 to land on the docking port. Can we dock with stuff? Alright. Lowlands, landing. Okay. That flag is doomed to explode just like the other one. No big deal. It's fine. Everything's fine. Climb or grab or do whatever it is that you need to do. Just don't lose consciousness and go spiraling into the hillside. Yes, grab. Switch. Switch. RCS to arm. Nope. Other way. Let's put the engine bells on the ground and not the astronaut. How about that? So we'll just bring this end of the spacecraft up. We'll speed this up a little bit, ignoring our flag that never seems to stand up straight after planting it anyway, as we go through and gather up the last little bits of science that we can here. Our scientist having been flung violently off the ladder and drifting aimlessly. Yeah, she's fine. Trust me, she's fine. Just gonna EVA back onto the ladder thanks to that thruster pack and transfer in as many science experiments as she can possibly muster before going ahead and lifting off from the lowlands at the parsley pace of less than 1 meter per second as we get our bearings a little bit and then start to orient ourselves in for the Kraken Spire. It was quite an amazing thing to see when we were out here with good old Proby McProbeface way back in the day, and now that we can actually bring a crew out here, I absolutely want to get a closer look. We're going to see exactly how haunted this potato is. Last time it did wreak some havoc on Proby McProbeface and its orbital package, resulting in both of them being ejected from the Phobos SOI for seemingly no reason. We had a harpoon pop on the lander, but for the orbital package, they're really... Yeah, anyway, I honestly don't remember. Maybe I ejected that myself. It's been a very, very long time. But the fact that we can actually bring an astronaut within spitting distance of this thing is absolutely fascinating. And I am 135% predicting that the Kraken is going to intervene and something absolutely terrible is probably going to happen. But I'm not one to be deterred by absolutely terrible things absolutely spontaneously happening. It seems to happen a lot in this save file. We just kind of deal with it. And am I willing to risk 2 Kerbals so that I can try to plant a flag maybe at the tip of the Kraken Spire? Oh, you betcha. But that's going to have to wait until next episode. That's going to do it for this one, everyone. Thank you so much for hanging out. I really do appreciate it. And I will see all of you on the next one. So until then, see you later.